All right, welcome back, everyone. Lovely to see you all, as always. And let's begin by going straight into the superpower state. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. So by repeating your word or phrase, or your anchor, or by focusing in on everything you love about your subject. Good job. And feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest, allowing that light or energy to shine out from you. And then allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Very good. And now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Allow each cell to be filled with that light, that energy. Love each cell just for existing, no matter what. Allow that light, that energy to shine out from you wherever you are now and fill the whole environment you're in. Everything, everyone around you. Fill that space with this light, this love, this energy, this power. Just like a superhero. Very good. Now allow that light or energy to fill the little you, yourself as a child, any age. Love that little you just for existing. And then imagine that light, that energy overflowing from that little you, shining out from that little you and filling your whole childhood, shining that light into any darkness, filling everything, everyone, every experience, every event, every circumstance. Loving everything exactly as it is, that's where your power is. And then allow that light, that energy to fill everyone who's on the call today. All those who are on camera, all those who are off camera today. Love each one just for existing. Very, very good. All right, you can open your eyes and let's check in with each person to find out how you're doing. So Lisa, you're first up on my screen.
Yay, it's TR Tuesday.
Yay!
Oh, okay. I was going to go to this book, Your Business Success. Okay, so this is on page 48. It's Back to Your Future, Reverse Visualization. So yes. one of the most effective ways to achieve a goal is to reverse engineer it, to look at the end results you're aiming for and then work backwards to determine what will get you there. We've discovered that it is also most effective way to create the changes you want to make in life. So that's so what's the end goal? So anyway, I thought that was really cool. So.
Perfect. Yes, very good. And then of course, whatever that is, to put it in your childhood. So if I want to be a successful photographer, I'll make sure that I come from a long line of successful photographers, for example. Very good. So that the subconscious has proof of the end result you're wanting to achieve. That's fantastic, Lisa. Thank you.
Very good advice. Thank you.
You're very welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for sharing. All right. And before I go on to the next person, I just want to show you my mug, my new mug, which is the Superpower, from the Superpower Master from our merchandise. All right. And Sadia, you're next up on my screen. How are you today? Nice to see you.
Hi, Odile. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. I'm doing fine. Thanks.
Good.
I'm just grateful to be there, and I do not have a particular question for today. I've been thinking the thing like through, so yeah.
That's okay.
I didn't want to turn off my camera just because I didn't have a question.
Oh no, that's fine. It's lovely to see your face. So we really appreciate that you've got your camera on anyway. It's
Yeah.
lovely to see you. Thank you for being here, Sadia. Very good. And then Chris, you're next up on my screen. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm so pleased to be here today, as I am every day. And I love that mug. That's really something. I have to have a look at that one, won't I? Right. So first of all, I was part of a group the other day, and somebody just said something about, oh, when I visualize the little me, what I sometimes do is I go and step in and help the little me and be with them, and that, you know, you said that quite a few times.
Yeah.
However, on that occasion, ping, I got it. And so I've been doing that. That was lovely in itself. And then what happened was the little me starts coming to me, the adult me. And we're spending a lot of time together. Let's put it that way.
Perfect. Thank you,
Nice.
Chris, for sharing that, because that is very, very powerful. Very powerful.
That's good.
And so,
Nice.
you know, of course, we want our childhood memories to include love, affection, support, encouragement, kindness, compassion, and all of that from our parents as well. But that connection between you and the little you is very powerful. That's an extra, separate piece of data that's very, very effective. So thank you for sharing it. And the more time you can spend with that little you, reparenting, treating that little you the way you should have been treated, the more effective and the faster you'll see results. So thank you for sharing that.
Nice, yeah.
Fantastic.
And I remember about certainly at the beginning of this series of Zoom meetings way back in March, I know I was asking you and saying, well, I'm not quite sure I can do the little me. So this is just so good that this has happened. I didn't do it, it did it.
Exactly.
Well, with a lot of practice.
Exactly, yes. So such a wonderful example of how when it looks like you can't do something, or it looks like something's not going to work, if you just keep practicing, keep reaching out for help, and keep doing the activities, just like physical exercise, eventually it happens, because that's how the brain works. So, just like that, how the body works. Fantastic. Thank you, Chris, for sharing that. That's wonderful. All right. And so do we have any other questions? That seems like a very short session today. No questions in the chat, hey, Steve?
Not yet. We can give it a couple of minutes to see if we got
someone's put a question.
There we go.
Do you have any strategy for using my superpower when I'm really tired? I'm very tired and I can't get enough rest. Oh, very good question. Very, very good question. So the answer is do whatever you can. So when you're feeling tired, so now that we have this new allowing exercise, you can use that. So when you can't feel, oh, yes, you can unmute yourself. Hi, Sylvie.
Hi.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, I'm not at my usual place, so I wasn't sure. Yes, I'm very tired, and I have a lot of decisions to make these days.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm probably suffering of the COVID.
COVID,
Yes, and my mother is at the end of her life.
Okay.
Yeah, she's hospitalized.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the correct word in English? And I had a lot of decision, and I can't sleep enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed really a very strong difference. Where when I'm very tired, it's really difficult to use my superpower.
Yes.
And it's a vicious circle because I don't take good decisions.
Yes.
And I was wondering, maybe you had a small
Absolutely.
strategy.
Absolutely, yes. And Sylvie, so first of all, thank you for asking this question. You're not alone. And, you know, I also, when I'm tired, I find it more difficult. So it's, I mean, I'm in that state most of the time, but when we are tired, it's natural to find it more difficult. And the answer then, so now that we have the allowing technique, the first step is to allow that feeling of tired. Whatever that is, notice where in your body you feel it, the sensation of that tiredness, and allow it so that you're not fighting it. So that's the first step. Okay. And then as you allow it, allow whatever's there. So allow I can't, you know, I'm struggling to make decisions, or I'm making the wrong decisions. Allow whatever is there. That's the very first step. And then the best thing to do is to think of your favorite color and imagine being surrounded by your favorite color without any pressure to feel the superpower. So when you're tired, we don't want to be forcing it. We don't want to be trying to make ourselves feel it, because that just creates more stress chemicals. So you want to be as gentle and calm as you can. And the allowing technique starts that, and then imagining just your color without putting any more pressure on yourself. All I need right now is to just think of my color, and that I'm surrounded by this beautiful color. Does that make sense so far, Sylvie?
Yes, it makes really sense. I'm going to try that. And I was wondering whether I can manage with the people around me to postpone the decision I have to take. Mm.
Exactly. Anything you can do to give yourself some time to recover, to get some rest, to do whatever you can, and putting anything that you can delay or put on hold, that will give you the peace of mind as well, that will help you to sleep better. So your brain isn't trying to make those decisions, so that you feel safe for the moment. Right now, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to make any decisions. I don't have to do anything. And then that will help with the sleep as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right? Steve, do you want to say something? I see you unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I think that happened accidentally. I'm not exactly sure, but I will say, just to hop in on the end of that advice, just doing some simple mindfulness techniques as well. I know that in the past, when I've had issues of not being able to sleep, I know from my years of practicing mindfulness and the study that I did when I was going through my master's degree, that scientific research on people who are practicing mindfulness. So the effects of doing an hour's worth of mindfulness meditation. So you're just focusing on either a sensation in your body or focusing on your breath. So if you're doing that, the effects of doing that for 1 hour is equivalent to getting 4 hours of sleep. So I always told myself that if I was having trouble falling asleep, it's like, okay, well, I'll just do some mindfulness because it's going to help my body anyway. So that's something else that you can do as another little practical technique when you're having difficulty falling asleep at night.
Yes, I understand that, because I meditate every day, but I have too much fever now. And so I'm not myself.
Right. Yep. So just so go back to allowing whatever's there. allowing whatever that sensation is, and you can just be with the feeling of that. And that can be a mindfulness meditation activity as much as anything else is. Just allowing it and being with whatever's there.
What I understand, I don't have to fight to
Right.
pretend that I'm able to.
Absolutely. No fighting. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. The main thing is to not be struggling with it.
Yes.
Just
Thanks a
allow
lot.
as much as you can. You're very, very welcome, Sylvie. And then the other thing, actually, going back to what Chris was saying, is what you can do is imagine the little you and just tell her she's okay. She's safe. You know, you can give her a hug if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Just let her know that she's okay, because it's the little you that's also feeling that pressure. All right?
Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Sylvie. Good job, and thank you for sharing, sweetheart. All right, and Swasti, hello. How are you today?
Hello, much better than yesterday.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I just felt really embarrassed about crying yesterday. Well, it felt like the end of the movie, but it isn't. So it's okay now.
Well, sorry, I just choked on my coffee. So I was so excited about the mug that I breathed in at the same time. So here's the thing about crying and the emotion. And this goes for anyone who, you know, is overwhelmed by an emotion during this time or anything like that. It is so reassuring for other people, because everyone has those times when they feel, you know, and even when they're not letting it out, they may be feeling it inside, and seeing someone else expressing it. And the fact that we don't, you know, we're used to emotions, you know, we deal with it all the time. We deal with people breaking down or, you know, getting angry or whatever. You know, emotions don't bother us at all. That's what we do. So it just helps to reassure others that it's okay. It's okay to express an emotion. It's okay to lose control of an emotion even. So I understand the feeling of embarrassment in that, but it's really from our side, from the viewer's side, it's a good thing. And it's helpful. All right.
Great. So in terms of like the whole admissions process now, so the deadline's actually in 2 weeks. So all I've got to do is just finish my personal statement, and my teacher like at school can check that and then just submit the whole application basically. But then like the other exam I was talking about, I'm going to take that now, because I realized that the score I got last time, even though I didn't really study, is the score that one medical school actually needs. So I mean, unless they change their scoring, which hopefully they don't, but so I'm going to apply to like one of those as well, even though I'll get the score after the application. But I'm not very good at organizing myself in terms, like, I would consider myself an organized person, but just, I don't know, when it comes to exams, I always end up doing things last minute.
Okay, look at that. All right, so first of all, there's no reason for you not to do that other one, right? So that makes sense to do it as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so let's so we'll look at the organized thing from a practical point of view, and then we will we'll look at any references. So what needs to be done when you say organize? You're not organized and you leave it till the last minute. What are those tasks that you feel there's a danger you might leave till the last minute?
Well, I feel like these admission tests are like about progression and just seeing an improvement over time. So just, well, the way to revise for this exam, from what I've read on the internet and from my experience from last time, is just to do lots of like practice papers. And because there's a science element, you'd need to remember the facts and understand the concepts as well. And then also there's a writing section. So just practicing a lot of essays and getting other people to check it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is in 2 weeks' time. You need to be ready.
No, this one's on the 4th of November. My application goes out in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks. Okay. And so the thing to do is to take the day that you need to have got whatever it is done by, and then pick 3 days before that and decide that's your deadline. Okay. So let's say it has to be done by the Friday, then Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, make it the Tuesday. So I'm going to be done by the Tuesday.
Okay.
All right. And then whatever needs to be done before then, break it down. So this is for everybody, in fact, and this is something I learned from writing books, the way to write books and articles. And you could use this technique with your exams and applications and anything else you need to get done. So with writing a book, what I do is I come up with 10 points that the people need to walk away with by the end of the book. So there's 10 points that they need to have. They need to know these 10 things by the end of the book. And those are the 10 chapters. Now, this can change. So you can, it can end up to be 6 or, 12. It doesn't matter. But you start off with, I'm going to make 10 points. So you could take what needs to be done and break it down into the biggest sections. So I need to have that, whatever that is. And you can write them down. And then under each one, you come up with what needs to be done for that thing. So in the case of the book, we take each of those points and we say, right, what 5 points need to be made in that chapter? And so with yours, you take the task, the end result that has to be done for that thing, and then what steps need to be done.
So working backwards.
Right. So reverse engineering it. So then.
Oh yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you've got the plan, then you can slot that into your diary. And I would actually put it, or if you're American, in your calendar, I would actually put that on your calendar. So this day I'm going to do these tasks, then that day, but you've broken it down backwards. You've reversed engineered it. So by the end of this section of time, by the end of tomorrow, or by the end of next week, or whatever it is, I will achieve this. And then you break that down. So that means today I need to do this, tomorrow I need to do that, and put it in your calendar, block out the time. So from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, I'm going to be doing this, or from 9 till 9:30, whatever that works out to be. How does that sound?
Yeah, I've tried all these things.
Okay.
Still ends up positive.
And that's why we're going to look at the references as well. And another tip is to what I do is always give yourself more time than you think it'll take. So if you think something will take 20 minutes, give yourself an hour. So in your calendar, if you're going to do something that takes 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, in your calendar, go right from 8 to 8:30, from 8 till 9, I'm doing that. Because what that does is 2 things. Number one, it means if anything goes wrong, there's delays, or you're struggling with technology or something, you've got plenty of time, so it takes that pressure off. And number 2, it's a huge reward in your brain of dopamine when you get it done early and you're ahead of your schedule. And that hacks that brain chemistry to help you to get more done, help you to be more productive, and to enjoy it more in general.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, so those are the pieces to put in place. Now let's look at what's stopping you from doing those pieces. All right. So tell me what, if you were to get all of this done early, let's say you get the application done early, you get you're prepared for the interviews and whatever needs to be done, you're done way early. What's wrong with that, or what bad things will happen?
I don't know. It's not happened in a long time.
So let's imagine that that's the case. So I want you to fast forward your mind into whenever time, and you're done, and there's plenty of time left. How does that feel to you?
I think it's like not knowing what to do, or feeling like, have I done enough?
Yes.
Because like when I was in India, everybody would revise ages for this exam, like months and months. And then when I came here, everybody would leave things to the last minute. And I think I became, like, I don't know, but I became like that too. And I hate that so much, but I just couldn't get back to being organized and finishing things quickly.
And there's a few different pieces here. So the first thing is anybody who leaves something till the last minute, and this, there's a lot of people who go, oh, I work best under a deadline, and the more, the more stressed I am, the better I work, and all of that kind of thing. And so what that is you're getting dopamine hits in your brain, and you're getting that shot of adrenaline and cortisol. So it's like going on a roller coaster. So people love going on roller coasters because they get that thrill. So it's that thrill that keeps reproducing. And the truth is that if you were to be prepared earlier, your brain would be able to handle things better. You'd be able to think better, but you wouldn't have that shot of thrill. So that's one piece. And then the second piece is that it may have been originally a way of fitting in with your new environment.
Yeah.
So
I felt out of place when I was not cramming, but everybody else was.
Exactly. So unconsciously, you may have developed that process in order to connect and fit in with the kids around you, and that's natural. We have a natural drive to fit in with society, with our surroundings.
Okay.
So that might be as well. So in which case you could go back and change those memories to where everyone is always ready early. So and I used to be a late person. Everything was last minute. And so there were two ways I changed that. And this was before we found the, changing childhood memories and that. The first thing I did was I gave an hour for everything. If it took, like I just said to you a moment ago, if I thought it was going to take me 15 minutes to do something, I would allow an hour. Because what I would do is I'd wait until like 15 minutes before leaving and to get dressed or whatever, and then something would go wrong, or I'd get distracted, or my car wouldn't start or whatever. So I started giving an hour for everything, and it seemed really over the top to begin with. Now, the other thing I found, and this, you may have something along these lines as well, I know a lot of people do, is not knowing what to do for that when you're ready early. And so now we've all got phones, it's easier, but this was before mobile phones. I realized I didn't want to get somewhere early because I was like, well, what am I going to do now? I'm just going to sit there. And I didn't like that idea. And in my childhood memories later, I found that my grandmother was really early for everything. And so we would always end up sitting, waiting, bored out of our minds. And so that was my way of contradicting that, or getting, what's the word I'm looking for? You know what I mean? Not having. So there may be something like that. Like if you're ready early, then what? What will you do for those last 3 days?
I think it's actually the reverse. I think it was my auntie who would take literally hours. She had really long hair, so she'd wash it, then she'd do all this to it, which is actually what I have to do now, but that's interesting too. But she'd always be late everywhere. Like we'd always be the last one at a party, like so everybody would be in the room and then we'd walk in. That would be embarrassing. Walking in late to your best friend's birthday party, it's like, no.
Right. And so you want to change that, of course, completely, where she was always early. So although my grandmother was always early, my mother, her daughter, was always late. So she was always late to fetch us. When we went somewhere, we would arrive, the thing would be closed. So there was that. So we had that contradiction. So, and then my sister used to take ages seemed to take ages to get ready. I would get ready very quickly, but I would always leave it till the last minute. And so, and I remember, this is just a fun thing to share. My sister and I were getting ready to go out, and she was busy doing makeup. And I said to her, come on, we got to go. She, I'm doing my makeup. And I said, well, do it in the car on the way. And she said, no, that's ridiculous. And I said, no, I do mine in the car on the way. And she said, yes, that's why you look like you do. And I countered with, no, that's why I drive like I do. so that's just a funny sideline. But that was the effect on, yes. So make sure that everyone in your childhood that you grew up with gets ready in perfect timing, and everything always flows. you know, you're always there on time, and perhaps you get there early, and when you get there early, you get to play a game, or you get to do some fun, have some fun that the others don't do, because when they get there just on time. So what I started doing was taking a book with me to read. So then I would look forward. Oh, I'm going to get there an hour early, and I'm going to sit and read my book. I'll get a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. So have something to look forward to. So with this situation for you, if you aim to be ready 3 days before, then you can think of something that would be fun to do for those 3 days. You can watch movies, you can, you know, you can do the revising that you want to do, but it will be extra. But make sure that you have something to look forward to, because then that's where you put your brain. When it comes time to, okay, and if you've got it in your diary, today I'm going to do this, tomorrow I'm going to do this, you know, you've got it broken down, then you just follow that schedule. So today, from this time till that time, I'm doing that, and from that time to that time, I'm doing that. Then do it. And then know that tomorrow you'll do the next piece, and so on. And 3 days before, you'll be ready, and you'll be able to do whatever it is you're looking forward to.
Mm.
How does that sound?
That's really good. I think I worked with this person, like on this school project. She's really good at doing things. She's at Oxford now. That's how good she is.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's really nice. But she's so, yeah, she was, I think she used reverse engineering because she was into productivity hacks and things. She was really, really good. Yeah.
You know, it makes all the difference in the world. And there can be, I know with me, there can be a kind of resistance to it, because you feel, well, I just want to start, or I just want to get it done, or something like that, or, you know, but it really is worth taking that time out to plan it, reverse engineer it, so that it's broken down to little pieces. It's not overwhelming then. All you have to think about is what has to be done now.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to worry about the rest, because you know that you've planned it. So you know that, and that helps your focus, because you're not thinking about anything else. You're thinking of this, and you're getting this done. And that means that your brain is able to absorb, comprehend, recall much more efficiently.
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Definitely. Thank you.
Good. You're very
I'm
welcome.
excited to do this now.
Pardon?
I'm excited to.
Excited to do it. Yes. Oh, good. And then, of course, in addition to that, make sure the childhood memories match. You know, so you could, in fact, have your aunt and or your parents teaching you this. Have your aunt saying to you, see, what I do is I break it down, I reverse engineer it. This is how you do it. Perhaps she's teaching that little you.
That's so good. Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Swasti, and thank you for sharing that. All right, and
yep. So we've got a few questions. A quick comment from Ilya. When I don't feel the superpower, which happens still quite often, I just say I love the fact that I can't feel it, and it puts a smile on my face and makes it a little easier to do. So
well,
I think that's great, great reminder.
Yep.
And then a question from the chat. I have a question about changing memories. Whenever I send love to my inner child, my 9-year-old appears. And it isn't a happy little child, it's a hurt one. But I can't change the vision or memory of it. Any suggestions for a stepping stone or how to handle it?
Yes. Yes, good one. Thank you for sharing that. And here's where you start. Allow it. Use the allowing technique. Allow that 9-year-old, because there's a reason why that 9-year-old you is not happy and she's hurt. So allow her to be exactly as she is, just like we do with the allowing exercise. Imagine her there and just let her be what she is, without needing to change, without judgment, without her needing to be happy or different. Just have that feeling of you're okay exactly as you are. So that's one piece. The second piece, see how that goes. And what I would say, it may well be necessary, is a due justice letter from that 9-year-old to whomever, whatever, and for that you can just start. Well, there's a few different ways. So you could just start writing from that 9-year-old you. Just imagine what she's thinking or feeling. You could ask her, or you could write what you think is going on, or you could ask questions. What is wrong? Why are you so unhappy? Who hurt you? That kind of thing, and see if that flows. So that, again, she has a voice and she's allowed to speak, because otherwise that part of you is not getting to express herself. And if she's hurt, there's good reason for that. So I hope that helps. And you'll find then later, once she's had a chance to express herself, she's no longer hurt. There's no longer the danger, the threat that is perceived by the subconscious mind. Then you'll be able to change her. She'll probably change spontaneously. So I hope that helps, but let me know if you need more clarification on that. And I see another question here. What best when we feel we are, what is best? What is best when we feel we are having a harder time fully changing past memories or references? I get overwhelmed in the changing and replaying as there seems like a lot of negative that I'm judging. Thank you. Okay. So another good question. So try using the allowing technique with that. So when you think of all of those memories that you need to change and the ones you need to practice, replay, and all of that, notice where in your body you feel that overwhelm and what the physical sensation of it is, and then allow it to be there. Just go, it's okay to feel this overwhelm. Whatever the sensation is, it's okay to feel it. There's no need to judge it or stop it or anything like that. If you find you're still judging the negative, allow the judging. Allow the negative, allow the judging, allow whatever comes up. So that's why this technique is so clever, is because it doesn't matter what comes up, you're going to allow it. So then there's, resistance, allow the resistance. So keep allowing until you notice a shift. And then as for which memories and that kind of thing, pick the main ones. So pick, just sort of pick a core one that pops up that feels strong and go with that. So let's say, I'm trying to think of an example from my own, there's so many, but and they change over time. So, pick one that seems to have a strong effect, change that, and just practice that one, or maybe 3 of them, 3 different ones. You can remember that you can write them down, or you can record them into your phone and just listen to them for replaying. Listen to them while you're taking a walk or doing some other exercise or doing a chore, or as you're falling asleep in the evening, whatever it is, and just play it. That makes it easier than having to imagine lots of different memories. So because the main thing, remember, is how you're feeling in the moment. So if you are practicing just 3 good memories, and you're feeling the good feelings, you're doing a lot of good in that moment. And when those 3 memories are established, then check, okay, so what comes up now? Remember, the end result we're aiming for is that the whole childhood was fantastic. And so you want to do whatever will get you to that. And that doesn't mean you have to literally imagine your whole childhood in sequence. It's bookmark events that represent that perfect childhood. So for me, it's a scene in a little bedroom, or big bedroom actually, at the top of this fabulous house with a swimming pool. That's just a moment. Or it's my mum saying, fantastic, sweetheart, I'm so proud of you. Just those moments represent. And then if you've got anything that contradicts those, that'll come up, and then you can change that and practice that. So I hope that helps. And for different people, it's different things work, but hopefully that will help you. So let me know if you need more clarification on that. So there's quite a lot here. Steve, shall I just go on to the next?
One other question. Give me just a second. Right. Hi, Odile and Steve. I just wanted some clarification on these steps. So when I hear my dad maybe shouting or complaining about something and I feel some stress, my inclination is to respond by either shouting back or saying, calm down, stop going on, trying to talk him out of it, etc. My goal should be not to respond and go and do the due justice letter first, question mark. Then once that's done, look for references, question, because I find I get stuck on either end of the spectrum, which is choosing not to respond, not responding, but still feeling it, trying to get into the superpower, which is difficult, or responding and expressing the emotion and reacting.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And that is, that's a very common challenge, especially when you're living with the people from your childhood that are, so I know that well. So the most powerful advice I can give, the most effective technique is two things. First of all, before you are with this person, so when you are not with the person, practice the following. Imagine they're shouting, or remember an event where they were shouting. So whatever that thing is that triggers you, either remember one or imagine one, and practice seeing them as not well in the head. Practice seeing this shouting as, there's something wrong with this and they're not well. They've taken something, or they're just a little bit crazy. And so perhaps, things like, imagine they are accusing you of being Elvis or an alien, something like that, and so your response would be, okay, just like, so there's no trigger. So that's part of it. Practice that when you're not in the situation, so that you're planning it. And this is very important for everybody, as you are practicing it, as you're imagining it, you are forming the neural networks that you'll need to use when you're in the situation. That's why you want to practice this when you're not in the situation, because every time you imagine that person shouting at you, and you imagine your reaction of the okay or whatever, bless their heart, they're just having a moment. Or imagine him, with a feather boa and doing a cabaret or whatever. As you are doing that, that new neural network is forming every time you repeat it, So do it several times. Then when it actually happens, you're already ahead, because you've already got that neural network established. Then you just need to make the choice in the moment and use it. So I hope that helps with that piece. And then, of course, make sure that the childhood memories around that person have changed, that they have a different childhood, they were different with you during your childhood, and so that it fits in with what you're wanting to achieve now. So you're not looking to suppress your feelings. Absolutely not. And you're not looking to, obviously, to engage in the same dance as you did before, because that will just then keep repeating that pattern. You're looking to change your inner experience so that you're not triggered. And so part of that is this practicing seeing their behavior as a different thing, giving it different meaning. Now, the due justice, I would say definitely do a due justice. You may want to do the allowing technique first. And again, so this is not when you're in the situation. If you just remember the feeling of them shouting at you, remember the feeling of wanting to react, and then notice where in your body you feel that sensation, and allow the sensation to be there without needing to stop it, without judgment, without needing to change it, without labeling it or giving it a meaning. Just notice the sensation and allow it to be there. And then later on, you can see if you can write a due justice letter and get all of that stuff out, whatever's in there as well, in addition to practicing, as I said. So I hope that helps, but if not, let me know if you need more suggestions or more clarification. All right. And anything else, Steve?
Nope. I think,
Is that it?
yeah, a lot to sift through, but I think that's it for right now.
That's lovely. I love seeing lots of comments. So thank you, everyone. Okay, so let's do the targeting then. So take a deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer. And sorry, to the person who I've just replied to about the person shouting in that, let me know in the chat if you need more. Even though we're moving on to the targeting, that's okay. You can still post in the chat. All right. So deep breath and either close your eyes or leave them open, whichever you prefer, and go into your superpower state, however you normally do that. And start to feel your heart opening, that expansion feeling in your chest. Allowing that light or energy to shine out from you. And then allow that light or energy to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy, that love. Good job. Now allow that light or energy to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Good job. Now allow that light or energy to fill your subject, loving your subject, and then imagine your subject doesn't want to be with you or doesn't have the qualities that you love and appreciate in them, and keep them filled with this light, this energy, this love anyway, loving them anyway, no matter what. Very good. And then allow that light or energy to fill Lisa from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. Very good. And then allow that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa and fill her daughter from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa's daughter just for existing and no matter what. And then allow that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa's daughter and fill her boyfriend, who's been physically abusing her. Fill him with the same light, this energy, from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips, exactly as he is, shining this light into any darkness. Loving him exactly as he is, no matter what. This is the challenge, but this is the power. This is how it works. So loving him, loving her, loving the situation, shining this light into the darkness and loving it all exactly as it is and no matter what may happen. Very, very good. Good job. Good job. And now on to Sadia. Fill Sadia with the same light, this energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sadia just for existing. Very good. And now to Chris. Fill Chris with the same light, this energy, From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Chris, just for existing. Very, very good. And now to Swasti. Fill Swasti with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Swasti, just for existing. And allow this light, this energy to overflow from Swasti and fill her dad. From the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips, love Swasti's dad, just for existing, no matter what. And allow this light, this energy to fill the COVID test for Swasti's dad, the results of it, no matter what those results may be, loving it all exactly as it is, no matter what. Shining this light into any darkness, and the rest of Swasti's family's health. Shining this light into any darkness and loving everything and everyone exactly as they are. Very good job. And now to everyone now to Sylvie. Fill Sylvie with this same light, this energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Sylvie, just for existing. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Sylvie and fill her mother. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips, love Sylvie's mother exactly as she is, no matter what. Shining this light into any darkness. Very, very good. And now to everyone who's off camera today or watching the recording, fill each one with this light, this energy, this love. Loving each one just for existing. And allowing that light or energy to overflow from each person and fill their lives, everything, everyone, every event, every circumstance, every experience in their lives, shining this light into all of the darkness and loving everything exactly as it is. Feeling that power. Good job. And imagine yourself later today and fill that version of you with this light, this energy, this love. Love that version of you no matter what. Exactly as you are. No judgment, no expectations. Very good, good job. And surge. Very good, and surge again. Good job. All right, you can open your eyes if you have them closed. And well done, everybody. Thank you all for sharing.
Odile, I just wanted to read out one comment that came through earlier. Chris says, Odile, I know you're busy writing a new book, but how about the Remmert Method study guide? So I thought that that was a good idea. So we can either think about incorporating that in the book or do a standalone.
Yes, good idea. Thank you, Chris. And I know, Steve, I know you've been wanting a study guide for a while for the other course. So that's a great idea. Thank you, Chris. And thank you, everyone, for your suggestions. That sounds fantastic. So we will definitely do that. All right, and thank you everyone for all your contributions, and also to those of you who, you know, when it came up, I can't remember what episode it was, but about a TEDx talk. So I am in the process now of doing the application process for that. So that's very exciting. So thank you for all of those suggestions and support. Thank you. All right, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love to all of you. Look after yourselves. Keep practicing. Bye-bye now.